Welcome to Orthodox World This Week, Orthodox News in Digital Space. I'm your host, Abel Matthews Alex. Let's see what happened in the Orthodox world last week. Patriarch Abuna Macarius of Ethiopia enters eternal rest. Abuna Macarius, the co-patriarch of Ethiopian Orthodox Church, entered eternal rest at the age of 84 in Addis Ababa, the capital city of Ethiopia, on 3rd March 2022. The late primate of the Ethiopian Church was hospitalized for medical treatment over a week. Abune Macarius was elected the Patriarch of Ethiopia upon the demise of Abune Tekele Haimot in May 1988 during the rule of communist Derg regime. However, he had to flee abroad when the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front came into power by overthrowing Derg. After several years of exile in US, he was reinstated as patriarch alongside Abuna Matthias in August 2018. His funeral will be conducted on 13th March at Holy Trinity Cathedral in Addis Ababa. 9 Coptic Christians arrested after peaceful protest seeking permission for rebuilding churches. 9 Coptic Christians were arrested after a peaceful protest seeking permission to rebuild their churches in the village of Sep Faralung in Egypt, according to a report published by persecution.org. The group peacefully protested to rebuild 2 churches that were destroyed after a fire in 2016. The Christian community were granted permission to demolish the building. However, permission for rebuilding the church buildings was delayed. This led to the protest and arrest of Coptic Christians in January 2022. The arrested were imprisoned for 15 days and their detention was extended in February 2022 without producing them to the lawyer of to a court. 40 tons of humanitarian aid from the Romanian Orthodox Church delivered to Ukraine. Over 40 tons of humanitarian aid from the Archbishoprics of Suceava and Ravedist of the Romanian Orthodox Church were delivered to Ukraine. The aid was received by volunteers of the Chernovitz Diocese of Ukraine Orthodox Church on 1st of March 2022. The first unit of humanitarian aid has been distributed to the needy through various dioceses of the Ukrainian Church. Today, all the Ukrainian people are worried. We are worried. Everyone knows that blood is being shed, that civilians and soldiers are suffering. Everyone is trying to help us. Today, we receive help from the Archdiocese of Suceava and Radius of Romanian Orthodox Church. And our hearts are filled with sincere gratitude to the Bishop Kaliminik and to the Romanian Church. We feel and see your help, your prayerful support, which we so desperately need in these difficult days. We wish all those who joined the collection and delivery of this sacrifice the grace of God and the blessing of the Lord, because they have kept the commandment of Christ, commended Metropolitan Militus of Chernovitz and Budekia of the Ukrainian Church on the occasion. The 9th enthronement anniversary celebration of Patriarch Abuna Matthias of Ethiopia held. The 9th-year anniversary of the enthronement of His Holiness Abuna Matthias, the Patriarch and Catholicos of Ethiopia, Archbishop of Axiom and Ind, and the See of Saint Tekele was held at the Holy Trinity Cathedral in Addis Ababa on Thursday, March 3, 2022. Dignitaries and attendees include archbishops, government representatives, ambassadors, diplomats, clergy, and the faithful and the spiritual children of Ethiopian Church. Abune Matthias was elected to lead the Ethiopian Church on 28 February 2013. Without peace and understanding, humanity has no future. Metropolitan Cyprian of Bulgaria. In his recent statement, Metropolitan Cyprian of Satara Sangora of the Bulgarian Orthodox Church stated that we have learned with great anxiety and sadness that Russian troops have taken military action on the territory of Ukraine. Our pain is even greater due to the fact that 2 Orthodox and Slavic people are on the verge of a large-scale war that will take many victims and will be a source of deep suffering for the civilian population. Its fire will not only sweep away the visible infrastructure, the work of the creative work, but will also change the moral support of millions of people around the world. It will destroy their hopes and their spiritual desire. History has shown that without peace and understanding, humanity has no future. Metropolitan Cyprian quoted. The prelate further stated that today it is time to recall the words of Saint Gregory the theologian. Sin looks to death, the fatal enemy of the soul, and to insist with our civic voice and incessant prayers, and our rather to stop this shameful and fanatical war. Let us not think that our prayers will remain unheard by all merciful God. He hears us because we are His and we can and must do so. Let us do it with a warm heart, full of love for the suffering. Parishes and monasteries of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church open to people round the clock. Parishes and monasteries of Ukrainian Orthodox Church are kept open to receive peoples fleeing the shelling from the Russian forces. As a result, several people have taken refuge in churches and monasteries for safety. It has been almost a week since the war in our country. There are dead and wounded. Many of our people are confused and scared. Some move to the western regions of the country, some abroad. Some do not have such an opportunity. This time is special for the church. We must remember that we always look not at the words but deeds. Many of our temples now receive peoples during shelling. People actually live in temples because they feel safe. Important, where a person feels safe, there is his home. Therefore, for the church, for the community, and for the priest, now it is a time of opportunity to make God's temple home for as many people as possible. Protect them, comfort them, wipe away tears, encourage, feed, provide shelter, and of course, pray with them. After all, war is a time of special fervent prayer. Father and brothers, I urge you to keep the doors of your temples open. Who wants to wait through the shelling, let him wait. Who is afraid and asks to be allowed to spend the night in the temple, let him spend the night. Who has no food, let's try to feed them. Maybe someone has stocks, let them bring them to the church and share with others. Where we served only and major holidays, we will pray more often. We will be with people. Commented Metropolitan Anthony of Bursley and Boravi in his address to the clergy. The Domitian Orthodox Cathedral in Kharkiv damaged in shelling. The Domitian Orthodox Cathedral of Kharkiv was damaged by shelling as a result of the ongoing conflict between the Ukraine and Russian forces. Windows and stained glasses windows of the cathedral were broken. Apart from the damage inflicted to the church utensils and the decorations, however, people sheltered in the cathedral were not injured. Churches in Lennox and Naze and Kiev and Donetsk dioceses were also damaged as a result of the shelling. It was also reported that the church in honor of the mail-bearing wings and the University St. Anthony's Church, located at Karen's Kharkiv National University of the Kharkiv, were also damaged by the shelling. Ukrainian Uniate Catholic seized an Orthodox church near Ivano-Franciscan amid conflicts. Ukrainian Uniate Catholicos, Ukrainian Greek Catholics, have annexed an Orthodox church near Ivano-Franciscan, a city located in western Ukraine. Moreover, the activities of Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate has been banned in Hodok, Levin region of Ukraine. They have been accused of anti-Ukrainian activities and of the splitting the Ukrainian society. Details of the seized churches are yet to be disclosed. That's all for the week. We once again pray for peace in Ukraine and Russia. Let's hope that the peace will be established soon. Thank you for watching Orthodoxy Cognate Page. Hope to see you in the next week. Thank you.